This episode is supported by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Summer mocktail smoothies just hit the pool deck at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Try the Island Punch Smoothie, Mango Berry Cosmos Smoothie, or Watermelon Mojito Smoothie. Order in the app, online, or in cafe. You're on Tropic Time now.
And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guest. She's an actress, comedian, writer, producer, and most importantly, Mr. Varney's daughter. It's Janet Varney. And he's a writer and comedian who's here to talk about his favorite comedy movie, Dude, Who Shit in the Sink? It's Jordan Morris. Tone Zone is here to tell us how boring it is to be a huge fucking rock star. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the Love Bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison with her the good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen, Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little cheese danishes. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate, which is one of my favorites, was sent in on Patreon. By Jess Flowers. Yes, I am on Patreon. All sorts of fun stuff over there. You can get bonus episodes of The Friend Zone with all your favorites. Got one with Stephanie Wilder-Taylor coming up soon. Just uploaded one with Jetta Kim Jones a little while ago. There's a level where you can text me and I will text you back. You get submit carbohydrates. It's just a good time. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen, and do an annual subscription and get 2 months free.
That's a good deal.
I'd like to say hello to my guest, Janet Varney. Hello.
Allison, hello, and hello to my friends.
It's been like 12 years since you've been on this show.
That's wait, is that true?
I think so.
Ew, what? Really?
I think, unless there's a time that you came on that I'm forgetting, but I think it might have been.
My.
I think I was on your show after that.
Certainly, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but still, crazy.
That's crazy.
Wonderful to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Jordan Morris, hello.
Hi, I'm also here. I've been on more recently.
I feel like it's been like 3 whole weeks since I've seen you.
I know. I'm a totally different guy.
I know. It's been too long.
I have a bunch of bad takes now, and here they are.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah. You can't say anything anymore on college campuses, no.
Oh, they'll cancel you.
Oh, I'm one of those guys now.
I love it.
I'm not.
That's where the money is.
You'll be blowing up on Patreon if you are.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Is that the way to go?
That's my sense, is that you get, and also joining us is a giant fly.
Yay!
I'll be at Largo on August 23rd. It's the Fly and Friends show, and then I'm going on the road.
That's the fly plugging thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Is that clear?
It was. I thought you were going to be like, I can only buzz into one kind of bathroom now. What's the deal? That's not cool.
Right wing fly.
That's right.
Oh my
Only
God.
right wing.
Right. After regular fly
Just goes in a circle.
Exactly.
After regular fly struggles in his career, then he becomes right wing fly.
He's on Substack. He's huge.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's where the money
he is. They tried to cancel him. It just made him bigger.
Yeah.
Hello, Daniel Quantz.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm great.
Do you have any fly bits?
No, I don't have any.
Not at the
you know,
moment. Buzz in if you do.
Oh.
Tony, hello.
Hi. You know what's nuts is 12 years ago was 2012. That
Yes.
doesn't seem possible. That 2012 seems recent.
Oh, interesting. Does a question for the table? Does 2012, boy, my mouth wouldn't even say it, seem recent?
Can we hear about, and this is maybe just how I mark time, maybe, Tony, can you Google some of the pop culture from 2012 and we could, see if that feels like,
Things
retro
we would
stuff?
care about, like the biggest commercial of 2012.
Right, yes.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
Which is that when we hear about it, it's going to be like, oh my God, that was 1970.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I always feel like if I pull out a magazine, I'm going to be like, oh my God, remember then? And it was like, this is from March 2023.
Part of the problem is that decades after 2000 aren't delineated the way they were before.
Yeah.
In the way that there's a character to each decade. I don't feel like I could tell you the difference.
Or maybe it
between
kind
the
of
aughts
reveals
and the
itself.
teens.
It reveals itself later. Like you can kind of maybe the 80s didn't feel like the 80s until the
They
mid
did,
90s.
though.
Does that make sense?
No,
Okay, maybe
Yes,
maybe I'm
that
wrong.
makes sense to me.
Okay.
The
That makes
80s
sense to
felt
me.
like the 80s.
Okay.
I think
You're
is it in Britain and the UK where they call the aughts the noughties?
The
Oh, do they?
naughties.
The
naughty aughties.
I like that.
Because it's like naught is a zero,
Oh,
Right.
God, I
maybe,
love it.
and math. I don't know. But
Well,
that's
now
fun.
I'm calling
Those
it
guys
that.
got it going on over
I
there.
know. They figured it
I
out.
really do. Every now and then, back when I was much more into music, I would buy an issue of is it Q? Enemy,
Like a-
probably. But also they had like a Q something.
Like a music magazine?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would want to enjoy it with all the, shows and the ticket prices in pounds and things. But then I'm like, I can't. It's a little bit impenetrable to me.
Sure. They have their own deal over there.
They do.
really do.
That they do. All
What's
right.
with their deal over there? What's the deal with their deal?
That's a weight, not a currency.
Have you found?
Is Big Ben the clock or the bell? I can never. I think it's the bell, actually.
Wait, what?
It
So I
is?
think when you refer to, and this is something I picked up on my
Full
last
stop.
visit across the pond. So something I learned that I think is true
Okay.
is that when you say Big Ben, everyone pictures the clock, right?
Right.
I picture
Big
the tower,
Ben
just
is
the
the
tower.
bell.
I picture
No.
National Lampoon.
Yeah, I
Vacation.
think so.
Jordan is correct.
It's the bell.
Oh my heavens.
I
Yeah.
even knew there was a bell.
Where's the bell?
Apparently, the clock is called the Great Clock of Westminster.
But it's not.
Can you see the bell? Is the bell visible?
I think you can hear the bell when it starts ringing, but I don't think I saw the bell.
Yeah.
Boy,
There's
I
just
feel
like
like maybe
can't
it's
really
just
see it.
all of America refers to the clock tower as Big Ben, so it might America.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
America puts itself first in everything.
Sure, now do our
it's
thing.
like,
We want it to be
hey,
different.
I guess we changed it for you.
Yeah, it's the clock now.
It's the clock
Shut
now.
up about the bell.
The thing
So
is,
the
when people say
bell-
look at Big Ben, you're not seeing
Right.
Big Ben then.
Right.
You're seeing
The
Big
whole
Ben's house.
hey kids, look, Parliament and Big Ben.
Right. Thank you,
Something-
European Vacation.
Yeah, there's those fact checkers
For
were
fucking
asleep
it
at
all
the
up.
wheel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gen Xers.
Okay, so what was going on in 2012?
All right. I found a top 13 list on theweek.com.
13. I like it.
yeah.
Other people give you 12. We give you 13.
First one, questionable, but I do vaguely remember this. Linsanity takes over the NBA.
Okay.
Nope,
yeah,
nope,
I kind of
right.
remember that.
I know, I remember
portmanteau.
hearing the
I
name.
That's their number one thing.
I know that.
Like,
That's, I don't know if they're in any order.
I would have said 7 years ago on that one. So
Yeah.
a little
Okay.
bit.
Wait, who was behind Linsanity?
His name was Jeremy Lin. He was like an
Okay.
Asian NBA
Oh,
player.
okay. We say
Yeah.
Jeremy Lin. That means something to me, but clearly
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
too checked out for Linsanity to register.
Yes.
Jeremy Lin doesn't even do anything for me. Okay. Onward.
Whitney Houston died.
Oh.
So sad.
Okay, see, despite my prediction, I would have said she died like 4 years ago.
I might have done that too. Yeah.
This is going to be the one everybody remembers. Encyclopedia Britannica suspends their print edition.
Oh, yeah.
A dark
You know
day.
what? I was going to say,
Right.
don't bring us
Dark
down
Everyone
like that,
remembers
Tony,
where they were
please.
when they found out.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
And this is 50 Shades of Grey sparks mommy porn revolution.
Definitely remember that, and that feels exactly as long ago as it was.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
feels
That feels
like
a
it was
long
12
time
years ago.
Yeah. The Avengers and Dark Knight Rises square off at the box office. Gangnam Style takes over the world.
That
Okay, sure.
that is the most 12 years ago shit I have ever
Yeah,
heard. Gangnam
yeah.
Style.
That's
Kind of a simpler, like gentler time on the internet when the internet was like mostly fun goofball stuff. Anyway, or that's how I remember it anyway.
Yeah. Some of these are real questionable. Most of the rest of these. London Summer Olympics, NHL lockout. Felix Baumgartner completes the world's highest skydive.
I have a vague.
I could have sworn that was last year.
Walking Dead smashes ratings records. Disney buys Lucasfilm.
Oh.
Twilight.
Wait a minute, really? So they were just, I guess they were just licensing?
Yeah, so I think that first Disney Star Wars movie was The Force Awakens, which
Yeah.
was probably in 2013
It was
or
2015 it came
okay,
out.
so yeah,
but
so
they
I guess
bought it in
they
2012, yeah. Twilight came to a close. And Will and Kate announce royal pregnancy.
Oh, wow. God, a lot of that does feel like
It
longer
doesn't
ago.
also, resonate. for
Yeah,
me.
nothing.
And then does it say Janet was on Allison's show?
I assume that's the 14.
Yeah.
That's the Baker's
The big one.
dozen
Right.
club.
Oh, yeah.
Jan Sanity, they called
Jan
it.
Sanity. We all remember
We all
that.
got Jan Sane for her appearance on the
Exactly.
Allison Rosen show.
So, no, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I also found a list from Teen Vogue of the top.
What were teens
Probably
talking
one.
about in
Yeah.
2012?
We probably want to hear
probably
this.
do.
What were teens
It
talking
was
about?
the resurgence of boy bands, thanks
Okay.
to One Direction and The Wanted.
I
don't know
barely
The
remember
Wanted.
them having gone away. I sort of know them. I feel like they're a little rougher around the edges than, say, One Direction, but I could be wrong.
Call Me Maybe, Madness hits YouTube.
Yep,
That
that
feels
feels
more
12.
recent.
Okay.
Okay.
Gossip Girl's big reveal and series finale.
Yep.
Okay.
Gangnam Style. Twilight comes to an end.
Yeah, I guess that could be pretty
Hunger Games catches fire.
Sure.
Pretty Little Liars spills the secret on A.
That was
I don't know
12
what that
years
means.
ago?
What does
I
that
do.
mean?
So, Pretty Little Liars is, I've talked about it on the show before because it was, what did it run on? The CW?
That sounds
or
like CW.
something like that, yeah. And the whole mystery, the whole question that the thing revolved around was who is A? Because they are getting these mysterious letters from someone named
They
A.
drag
But like,
that shit out.
there's like 5
So
seasons.
long. Oh
and
my God.
who is A was the question the entire time.
Just tell us who A is. Next season, it's B.
right.
Right?
You got 26 seasons.
So easy.
Exactly.
Right there.
And it was so hard. If anyone knows me, you know that I like to read the last page of a book. I spoil things for myself. It was so, it took so much discipline for me not to just Google who is A. And I don't think I got almost to the last season and then I'm like, I can't do it. And that's when I looked it up. That was a lot of restraint for me, though.
Was
Thank
it
you.
satisfying when you finally figured it out?
No, I feel like those things are never satisfying.
That was my next question.
Because-
how often are they?
I think with a show like that and with Lost, which I never watched.
Yeah.
But when you finally get the reveal and you have the sense that like the writers didn't start with that in mind,
Right.
they just discovered it at a certain
That's
point.
key.
That
That's
always
key.
makes me feel like
Is that how that was?
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah. Like I don't know that from the beginning they knew who it
Interesting.
was. Sort of like have you guys ever gone to a murder mystery dinner performance?
Yes.
I never have.
What?
It always. I know. This guy, of course, you'd think I would have every
would.
dinner at a murder mystery. But no, I know it as like a plot device on sitcoms. I guess I wouldn't. I didn't. I guess I'm aware that they actually happen, but I've never heard about one.
Well, it's not like a expertly crafted mystery
Okay. No.
who done it.
No.
It really is last minute could be any of them.
Yeah.
It could be any of the clue characters.
And is it? It's not someone They don't like assign someone. Like you couldn't
think-
be the murderer.
No, I could. I mean, or could I?
Whoa!
You
Your
think
name
that,
does
wouldn't you?
begin with
Yeah.
A.
I
Are
know.
you
It was
A?
Allison in the study with the red.
Allison, when did you go to one?
By the way, I don't even think dinner was served at the one I went to. I think it was just a murder mystery.
Was this at a place or was it someone's private
I was a kid. No, it was
party?
at a place, like a very small, like black box theater, I think. And I was a kid, and we went with some friends of my parents. I assume they must have said, "Do you guys want to come to this?" Because I can't imagine my parents being like, "That sounds like something that we want to do." So it was fine, but even at that age, I was like, "There's too much leaving this up to chance kind of situation."
Yeah.
Like life.
I don't like that about life either.
I know it's unsettling. isn't
Yes,
That
it
was the
really is. Was that your experience of the murder mystery as well?
I definitely did at least one as a kid, and then I forgot that they existed. And then at some point, someone made like just a offhand joke about it, and I was like, "Wait, is that still a thing?" And then someone was like, "Yes, I have an old dusty box that's still wrapped in its cellophane. That's like the murder mystery dinner kit." And they said we should do this.
So how was
And
that?
was
great.
it fun?
So, I mean, it was retro fun. It was meta fun. It was like, let's,
We're kind of goofing on this.
we're making
yeah.
fun of it as we,
Did you have to be
carefully
like
construct-
an old explorer
Oh, yes.
or
yeah. It was, and they're all the tropes
All
that
the
you
tropes.
could imagine. Yeah. Oh, me? I wouldn't know how to moiter. Yeah.
moiter? Yeah, probably a lot of
Very
people saying
much so.
moiter.
Yeah. So it was definitely, I cannot recommend going out and buying a murder box kit.
Was your experience
any
it-
kind.
I was surprised when a friend of mine threw a party at his house, and so we went and did it, and it was like I don't know what I expected. I think I thought it would be more of a like you go to this room and something happens, and then you go over here, and then the lights go out, and you know, that kind of thing. And it was really just everyone sits around a table, you ask a bunch of questions, and then figure out who. It was like this is who cares about this.
No,
But you had brought a monocle with you. You had brought an old blunderbuss. Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted more.
A lasso. Yes, it is the like parlor game version of those really old video games that are just words on a screen. And then you go to the next one and it's just more words on a screen. It's like this whole thing is existing in my mind and that's not what I want.
Kind of liked those games.
I mean, they were kind of neat, but they're nothing compared to what the kids are playing now. And by the way,
kids,
this is
they would not have time for those.
They would never return to Zork, these kids.
Was this Owen or Elliot yesterday? I'm at 2%. Daddy, I'm at 2%.
Is it about his phone?
His iPad. They don't have phones. We're not those kind of terrible parents. They have iPads. He was freaking
Do they play like traditional, like do they play Mario and Sonic and stuff you would recognize?
Owen is most into Minecraft.
Okay.
They both play Minecraft.
And by play, it's really just like a sandbox where they build things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. They'll be on it. Like Owen, who at the time was like 4, he's on it all night at grandma's house. And then I'm like, what are you doing here? And he shows me, and he built underwater like this mansion that has all these rooms, and it has a TV that he built, and it's just like, oh my God, like with this kid, they're literally like little architects, like building these elaborate castles and things.
It's funny. I would never have had the like patience for that as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I would always I riffed with Legos. I never built the instructions. And I feel like my video games were so like high energy and constantly changing and fast fingers, and it was like, but to do something that patient and quiet is unusual.
We have a Switch. I bought the Paper Mario game.
Oh, those are fun.
Thinking, oh, this will be cool, Mario. But the gameplay, excuse me, it's like that kind of. There's probably a term for it where you go, oh, I'm going to fight this person, and then it takes you to another screen, and then you're squared off against each other, and then you have to like choose your moves ahead of time. And then, do you know what I'm talking about? And it's like
I think you would call it like menu-based combat. It's like
how
an RPG.
Fucking boring is this? Who wants this?
Nothing sounds boring about menu-based combat.
Right.
I'm riveted.
I hope it's the Cheesecake Factory menu. I'm starving.
Over here, moiter. I could moiter a cheesecake.
Moiter a cheesecake. Yeah.
So I failed to get them into Mario because of that stupid gameplay. I don't know.
Well, let's not bury the lead.
What?
The fly just came right in as if to say, I'm the lead. No, you're not going to pull focus.
Oh, I have a podcast where I'm rewatching Baywatch with my friend from college.
Oh boy, another one of these.
No, let him finish. I want to know where he went to school. Where'd you matriculate?
Yale.
But then wouldn't the fly have been on some episodes of Baywatch? And he's watching it with his friends.
I guess it's
from college
that's
never seen it.
That's
just
the thing.
I
Sure,
guess it takes all kinds. But anyway, it's now the #1 podcast.
Mm-hmm.
People just love it.
People love them.
People love a rewatch with a fly and their friend from college.
Mm-hmm.
They're just talking about the flies that are in the shots.
Yes,
That would be amazing. Because those show up. You'll be watching something, you're like, that fly, that's a fly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's not CG.
Ooh, they
That's
were
a
great
fly
to work
that someone
with.
had to act around. Yeah.
Right, that's Carl. He thought he was the shit.
So
He
anyway,
OD'd too young. So tragic.
Carl.
he never got to have a real fly life.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to say this now before I forget.
Sure.
Okay, so we took Wendy to a vet appointment, and the vet was asking when's the last time she had like her teeth cleaned or anything, and then Daniel made some joke about how we're going to get her veneers. Or like we got her, she had a dentist appointment, but it was just cosmetic. And then the vet was like, oh, you'd be surprised at what they do nowadays. Like they'll do root canals, like not veneers, but they'll do root canals for dogs, and they'll put silver teeth in.
Oh my gosh.
And she said
gold teeth.
Gold teeth. She said, but the only time she thinks that's necessary is when it's a working dog. Now,
Okay, like
What?
an
Okay.
like an airport dog or
Yeah, what she said, like German
seeing eye
Shepherds.
dog or
Like a
something.
police
Like a
dog.
police dog.
but I thought she meant
prostitute dog.
Like
The oldest-
sex worker dog.
It's like, I'm sorry, sorry. Sex dog work is real dog work.
Oh, go to Substack. I'm kidding. Lots of great people are on Substack. No shade on Substack.
I'm on Substack.
There's a lot of stuff on Substack.
Substack.
Thank you. No, when she said working dogs, I was thinking dogs that are in movies.
Oh,
Like, and it
okay.
would
Right.
make sense
You're-
that they
that's the
need
right
to
down.
They would have
have
a cool gold
integrity
tooth.
in their mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, she meant police dogs or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Which is sort of grisly when you think about it. Like, let's say this dog is missing one tooth. How's that going to affect?
well, probably
the
not for
bite
one
strength?
tooth, but if there's
Well, does it
multiple
have a
teeth-
grill?
Well, enough to bite down, right?
But I mean, so
if
then
their
it's
job
like
is
a
to
bunch
bite.
of gold teeth.
I guess
And
you
I
could
really
Like make
Yeah.
it really sharp.
Yeah.
Make that one new tooth so sharp.
Mm.
I guess too, they could maybe really threatening, so there would be kind of a deterrent element to the dog. Like if the criminal sees a dog and he has like giant
dog
steel
smiles.
The
swords.
teeth from the ectomorphin alien, right?
Oh
Whatever
yes,
it's called.
yes, the xenomorph teeth,
Xenomorph,
where the
thank
dog
you.
has a little
Yeah.
dog mouth that comes out of its
Yeah.
bigger mouth.
Well, that would be
God.
They're sharp.
that
Yeah.
would be intimidating.
That would be intimidating.
Yeah. It
I
would
wouldn't do any
also-
crimes if that was around.
It would catch you by surprise so much. Like, I am not
You're
recommending
not expecting
this.
that.
No.
I don't know if it's real or not, okay? But I just colloquially have heard that if a dog is attacking you, stick your finger in its butt.
I've
Because-
also heard. No,
Okay.
I've heard that if two dogs are fighting each other, stick your finger in one
Yeah,
of
I
the,
don't-
one of the dogs. But
If it's attacking
both, I
you,
guess.
I'm
they
not sure how much of an opportunity
stop,
you're going
and
to
they
have.
go like,
They're like, what the fuck is that?
check,
it's so it's so they're on,
They
it's so
say-
unexpected.
You're probably wondering how I got in this position.
Record scratch. Zoop.
That's me. Yeah, anyway, I think in the same way that it'd be very jarring to be biting your friend and suddenly there's a finger in your butt. I
Right.
think it would be jarring if suddenly you see a dog with gold teeth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You'd get out your phone quick and snap a pic for the gram.
Exactly.
nothing else.
Exactly. Okay. That was a tangent because what I was saying over here was Janet and Daniel went to high school together.
We did.
We did.
And when you said in
Yes.
the intro, most importantly, Mr. Varney's daughter, even though we all knew what you meant, there's probably some people who are
Everyone
like,
knows.
she's her own person. It's not the most
I
important
know.
thing that
I
she's
know.
a man's daughter.
I want everyone to address me as Gail's son, for I am proud of Mama.
But anyway, yes, so you guys went to high school together, and Janet's dad was Daniel's English
my
teacher.
Senior English
Whoa.
teacher.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
And he has
Yes.
gone, and he has, despite what I just said about it not being all about your dad, he's gone on to write a book on ghost towns that Daniel's mom owns.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I hate
Yeah.
to say it, but it's one of many. It's one of many books on
There's
ghost
like a
towns.
whole community of
That
ghost
he's
town.
written.
Well, that
Or-
one's probably just Arizona's best ghost towns.
Yes.
Wait, he's
And
written
he's
a series.
also written
Oh, my
on
God.
like Colorado's best
Whoa.
ghost towns and northern
Okay.
and southern California, separate books.
I would be
I-
interested to
Hinting that
read
they're
about
I take
some of
that.
the best ghost
Yeah,
towns.
Pacific Northwest. Yeah,
I can
people
name-
they
Fun.
just kept the demand for it was.
I can name one ghost town. How many ghost towns can you name?
I mean, what qualifies as a ghost town?
Her dad's written about it.
I know. I think, oh God, is it
So
Jerome?
you just have to say how many you
Yeah.
can name.
Jerome's
Okay.
a ghost town?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Daniel and I are
Yeah.
each at one. How
Wait,
many?
did you name yours?
No, I thought we
Yeah,
were going
what
to
is
say. I
yours?
thought we were going to say how many first, but I'll say
Because
it.
if we're not naming them, I can name like 100.
All right, Janet can do 100. No,
I can't.
Calico. Isn't that
Oh
a
yeah,
ghost town?
Calico. Yeah, that's definitely a ghost town.
Okay,
Mhm.
Jordan.
I don't think I can name any.
Yeah, me
I was
neither.
going to say Tombstone, but I'm sure that's a.
And then my dad would be like, "Get
That's a
out, of
thriving
here.
tourist
That
hub."
tourist trap." Yeah.
smack me upside my head. No, I'm sure he's a lovely man.
you
Would
name
never hit
any?
me.
No, none.
I couldn't either.
But they all are they all? I guess this is a really question for you, Dad. Are they all preserved?
Allison, they come in all shapes and
They
sizes.
do.
Wow.
In some cases, you might be going to a beautiful place in the Colorado Rockies, not to see any real remains of a town, but maybe there's a few piles of rubble. But the history is interesting and it's a beautiful area. And then in other places, it's like they're beautifully preserved. Like Julian is a very famous California ghost town that people go and like actually stay. There are still B&Bs
Is
there.
that
Same
the
with
one
Jerome.
where? Is that the one where the mayor is a dog?
That's Idlewild, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
I think
right.
it was. I think the dog died.
Oh no!
As they
Do
do.
that?
It's a high stress job, Mayor. You
Was
know,
it the
it's
teeth? Yeah.
He looked 14, but he was
Right.
6.
right. It ages you.
Yeah.
The mayor job.
It's all gray.
But no, Dan and Dan's friend Matt were a couple of my dad's favorite students. He really loved those guys.
We loved Mr.
Yeah.
Varney. Mr. Varney was he was a great teacher. One of the things I really appreciated about your dad was that he wasn't super rigid. Like he allowed us to do things in a way that interested us.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to like make films and have those count as
That's cool.
projects,
Mm-hmm.
and like I got to really explore things in the fine arts that were interesting to me, because he was just like, look, his attitude I think was really just like, as long as you're engaging with writing and with the whatever that the thing was, the books and the poetry, whatever, he didn't care exactly how you did it.
Yes.
And I think I got a lot out of that class. It was really he was great. It's funny. Yeah, I remember he even let me like we did Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead.
Yeah.
And he let me like do this sort of ad hoc directing of the whole I directed the whole class in the theater, you know, that little theater that
Yeah.
the school had. And so we did like a staged production of it where I got to direct. I think he knew that I wanted to go to film school, and so
Yeah.
he let me do stuff like that. It was awesome.
That's so nice.
good
Yeah.
guy.
Did you have him as a teacher?
I did.
What
Was
was
that
that
weird?
like?
It wasn't that weird because when I like started at that school, I knew that I had 4 years to get used to the idea. And I also could have gone to a different school, but I really liked my dad. Like I grew up around my dad's friends, many of whom were teachers at that school.
Mr. Mackey.
So I was going to go to Tucson High for the performing arts thing, but I was like, you know what? I want to have Mr. Mackey as a teacher. I grew up with Mr. Mackey.
Mr.
He was
Matt, I
like-
loved him too.
Yeah, grew up with Mr. Mackey.
Who was Mr.
babysat for Mr. Shanley. I don't know if you had Shanley because he was like
Shanley.
after.
I remember
think
the
he
name.
was new the year I was a freshman, so you wouldn't have had him. But
Mr. Mackey was my junior year English teacher. I remember Mackey in English is what he coined the way that he taught.
Mackey in English.
oh
It
yeah,
was like-
Mackey in English.
This is
yeah.
a
Remember, it
Rosenian
was
podcast.
breaking down what do you call that when you break down sentences and
Diagram?
yeah,
Yeah.
he had a way of doing it, and he like had his own personal spin on it. But no, they were both great.
Now, would Janet have had or be aware of the Spanish teacher that was the bane of your
No,
existence?
that was in where'd you go to junior high?
I went to Utterback.
Oh, the performing arts.
Oh yes,
Uh,
Let's just sit with that for a second. Utterback.
That's
I don't know.
That's what it's called.
Utterback, yeah.
UTTER.
it's probably like a city councilman or something
I'm
named
sure.
Utterback. No, I went to Vale.
Mm-hmm.
Vale Junior Jail. That's what we call it.
Hell yeah. My junior high was Newhart, and we called it New Fart.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because we were
God, that's sophisticated. Yeah.
Tony, did you have any fun names? Thank you. Did you have any fun names for your high school or junior high or anything?
No, like literally, my junior high was the name of the city, and junior high after.
But they didn't
Classic.
like, Garden Grove. Growing up, people called it Garbage Grove. that kind of
No,
stuff,
it was just
you know?
it was Edwardsburg. I don't know. There's really much fun you can do with that.
Deadwardsburg.
Deadwardsburg.
Yeah, maybe. Edwards Turd.
I like that a lot.
It's a stretch. It doesn't really work, but, in
No.
a pinch.
And mine, I'm trying to think. We didn't have anything cool either, but there was a poem, like a senior poem, and I feel like this gets repurposed everywhere. But it was party hardy, smoke a bowl, drink Bacardi, rock and roll, something something. Sex is free because we're the class of '93.
So when you say
How cool
poem,
is that?
I know. I was like, cool as fuck. First, Allison, what do you think poetry is?
It's like
There once was a man from
Nantucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it was Wordsworth who wrote.
Little Mary from Boston, Mass. Went waiting.
Yes.
Okay, fine. It was.
God, you guys had a poem. We
sonnet.
did. I mean,
Yeah.
no one ever presented me with a senior poem of any kind.
But I think this is used for it's anything that ends in 3. you're 83, 73.
Sure, and there's
They,
probably
you
one
know,
for each
yeah.
ending number.
Right.
Yeah, this is like I feel like you see this kind of thing in like teen movies when they're like around the like bonfire talking
Yeah.
about
Right.
going
Casting
to college
spells.
or casting spells.
Putting
yes.
hexes on.
Yes, if you're
people.
thinking of The Craft specifically.
That
Why would you think of any other movie?
You say bonfire, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen The Craft. Can you even?
I haven't either. I'm
I'm
sure
giving
there
it
is
a
no
shot.
bonfire. There's probably no bonfire in it.
I want there to be. You know, recently we had a guest who had been to a Greek island. So naturally, talk turned to movies that take place in Greece. And I mentioned My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yes.
And everyone there was a real pile on. Piled on me. I was under a pile of people letting me know that movie doesn't have a lot of Greece in it. It takes place here. But I really feel like there was a flashback to the old country.
God, it's been forever since
I've only seen
it,
that
too.
once. I would not have piled on. I would have
Thank
trusted
you.
you implicitly.
Thank you.
And
They all
there's been,
mentioned the
like-
famous Windex scene.
There's
you
a
brought
lot of
up.
wind. No, just I brought that up. There's not been a lot of corroboration or support for this. Windex.
shocked.
Windex. Do you remember Windex?
Oh, like it's a cure-all, like spray
Yes,
Windex
it's
on.
like a
Yeah.
Greek thing.
Yeah, I
that
remember
there's
that.
a character. Thank you,
Yeah.
Janet. Jesus,
That's the what
Christ.
stuck with me. That's what got
I'm not
in.
saying
right?
there's not a Windex scene in it. I'm not arguing. I'm
It's
here just
probably
listening and
the
learning.
most famous Hollywood Windex scene.
It probably is.
Name another.
People study
Yeah.
it.
Can't
You
do
know, people study it in school.
Yeah.
Like Greg something, deep focus, touch of evil.
Yes.
And also
exactly.
Windex scene.
My Big
My Big Fat Greek
yeah.
Wedding.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you? How many other movies were you able to name? Because I feel like
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Oh, I've never
had-
seen that.
I cried my eyes out.
I think that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Whenever people would be like, "Oh, don't see it in the theater," I was like, "I won't see it at all. It
Yeah.
will upset me.
I'll do you one better.
I'll see it, no raise it."
I remember being surprised at how much it affected. In fact, it's my go-to reference for tearjerkers. Even
Yeah.
though it's to other people, it's not a terms of endearment. Tears of endearment. But Utterbach. But for me, yeah, it really it wasn't just tearing. It was
Yeah.
bawling. Like, oh my God,
God, I've just done that with so many movies, Allison.
My
what are
Girl-
your,
My
what are your
Girl,
famous
anybody?
Oh, yeah.
tearjerkers?
My Girl,
Oh,
yeah.
I've never seen that one.
I can't. I don't think I've even made it to the end of that. I was like, I can't do this.
It's rough, and I think it's the first movie I remember crying
Same.
in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think at our age, it was kind of advertised as a Macaulay Culkin
Right,
romp.
right. Like it's a feel good, like cute.
Yeah,
my
they
girl.
kind of right coming off of Home Alone. You kind of knew,
Yeah.
and then when you get into the movie, spoiler alert: the young boy dies of bee stings.
oh, multiple. I thought it was
Yeah, he
one.
gets into bees, and bees attack him till he dies.
Yeah.
And then at his
You
funeral,
make it sound like that was their goal. I don't. Was it, or they weren't
think
like
he
we're
might-
gonna
I think
get
bees
you.
are
I think he
motivated
was
by
allergic
it.
to
Yeah.
Yeah,
bees,
that too.
probably.
Sure,
He was
I'm
allergic
not
to
like
bees.
blaming the bees, but it's a horrible way to die.
Hashtag bee blame.
Hashtag bee blame. Yeah.
Hashtag not all bees.
Buzz, I do. I think they're giving bees all the parts
Get
now.
that fly
Woke
outta here.
Hollywood
Get
is
that
giving all the parts
fly
to
outta
bees.
here.
Oh, the fly
Cut his
character.
mic. Cut his mic.
Oh, the fly characters are being recast as bees.
Bee movie was originally a fly movie.
See,
The pun's not as funny, granted, but
Dead Poet Society.
Dead Poet Society.
Oh yeah,
Beaches.
Never saw it.
Know
of it.
I mean,
Steel
those are like
Steel
young,
Magnolias?
Steel Magnolias.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I couldn't get through Good Morning Vietnam. I couldn't. I feel like I was sitting in a movie. I don't know why they would have showed this preview for something that I would have seen, like that I would have been to see as a child, and I don't remember when it came out. But I'm pretty sure I had to leave the theater during the trailer for Rain Man because I got so upset. When he's in the trailer, he's walking across the street, and then the "Don't Walk" starts to flash, and he just stops in the middle of the street, and everyone else in the theater was laughing, and I was so upset that I had to leave for a minute
You
and
were
go
ahead of your
cry.
time.
Oh,
Ahead of your time, realizing that that's not really funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
Empathetic from the start.
Maybe-
Death by
maybe two.
bees sounds like it's supposed to be funny. Like, is that?
No.
I take it it's supposed to be tragic and sad. But
Yeah.
it's such an absurd way.
It's kind of wacky, sure, if you in another context. But no, I think this
Yeah,
is
it's not-
tragic.
it's-
a
yeah, it's
child dying too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Macaulay Culkin with those little
yeah.
Cute.
The
Cherub,
wet bandits
cherub,
couldn't do it, but the bees could.
where the wet bandits failed.
Did anyone see Pure Luck? Do you remember this movie?
I do
Martin Short?
remember
Yes.
this movie.
I
And
love-
Danny Glover, right? Also
I think
in
so.
that movie?
That sounds right.
And I
Yes.
love Martin Short.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
However, I
Uh-oh.
remember thinking this movie is terrible. I was young.
I don't
Maybe
think I've seen it.
I don't. Will you look up if it got good ratings? But there is a scene
don't
where
think it
I don't
does.
know I don't know if he ingests something he's allergic to
Yeah.
or gets stung by a bee and his face just blows up.
Yeah.
Oh, he
So-
was always looking for a reason to
He
put on
was?
those
Yeah,
prosthetics.
he loves it. He loves it.
But Daniel, to your point, there
Oh, I had a
can.
point. Sorry.
I thought you might have. There can be a funny treatment of a bee sting allergy, but it
course.
wasn't my girl.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that it is funny in its premise. Can it not be funny?
Yeah, my girl.
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
mean, you know,
someone
it's
dies.
funny when Daffy Duck gets shot in the face, but when a child
I
gets
feel
shot
like, yeah,
in the face.
I'm worried that you're imagining like running back and forth at
Hopping-
various distances on the
Hopping
screen.
head,
Yeah.
hopping head just being pursued by a
Yakety
swarm of
sax
bees.
is playing.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that how it was?
I can't remember. I don't think I ever got to that point.
I know. I am like kind of scared to rewatch it, honestly,
Yeah.
because I'm afraid it would like destroy me.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen the Mr. Rogers documentary that
Oh,
came
I
out a few
haven't
years ago?
seen it for the same reason.
Same.
I have never had a movie fuck me up like that movie
Really?
did.
Really?
It was a combination of things that were sad, but also like just how amazing and like truly like just a saint this
Yeah.
dude seemed.
Wait,
And-
are you talking about the one where Matthew Reese plays?
No, this is
No.
like an
Oh,
actual
this is a
documentary.
documentary, okay.
Yes. I think it's called "Won't You Be My Neighbor?"
Sounds
I think. Yeah, and I remember my girlfriend at the time driving home. She was trying to talk to me about the movie. I could not speak
my
for
friend.
seriously like 90 minutes after the movie.
I'm right there with you. You know what? I was like that with Arrival with Amy Adams. I
I've
was
seen that. I don't think.
destroyed.
Wait,
that
is
had
Arrival sad?
Her daughter died in that too.
Yes.
That's
and that's
sad.
really sad.
I
yeah.
couldn't stop. It was that thing where like I walked to the movie. We walked home, and as I was walking home, I would get hit with the wave. I would be like, I think I'm good, and then just the thought of like, and she would choose it all over again, even knowing
yeah.
that her daughter was gonna.
Oh, God.
I'd be like, oh God! I'll
Yeah.
never see that movie again, and it was well done.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, I mean,
was
sure.
interesting.
I don't know. It's great. I mean, yeah, but I'll never ever see that again.
Did you cry, Daniel? Because you sound cold
No,
and unfeeling
I'm
right
trying
now.
to
That was
remember.
interesting.
First of all, there were no
disconnected.
bees, so already that's a
I get
minus.
choked up at weird, unexpected type movies. I can't think of any. Right? I feel like recently we watched something and I got choked up.
When we said goodbye to our son's preschool teachers.
Oh, I did get. Yeah, that was.
It was the cute. I think we talked about it on the show. It was the cutest thing. These little 4 and 5 year olds wearing caps
They
and
had little
gowns.
white caps and
Oh
gowns.
my
Super
God.
fucking adorable.
It's gonna kill you in the best way.
Sitting on a tiny chair
Yeah.
for however many minutes it took me out of it a little bit, and then, but both
Took you out of it. The ceremony.
I wish they would have given you adult-sized chairs.
I mean, they're just you shift back and forth, and then at a certain point, you're like, those people are standing up in the back. I think I might be more comfortable back there, and then eventually you're like, now I'm gonna go sit in my tiny chair again.
What I love is that they had diplomas.
Yeah.
And my dream is that one day when Owen is a professional, he will frame that and put it on his
That's
wall.
really funny. If you are like a doctor or a therapist
Yes.
or something, you like just have your on your
Why
wall
not?
of diplomas.
Why
one
not?
of them is from preschool. That
All
would
of
be
them.
hilarious.
I think I have my preschool diploma.
Do you?
And
You
I
should-
went, and no less, I went to Tucson Academic Preschool.
I think I've heard of that. You
I got
should.
my kindergarten degree when I was in preschool, and I skipped kindergarten, conventional kindergarten.
You.
Well,
I'm
that's
sorry, I
right.
usually
You're
trot
like
that
a
out
Doogie
sooner.
Howser,
but
right?
I'm like a Doogie Howser. Yeah, they had me performing surgery when I was. Like,
Were you class of
first grade.
It's a
'93?
lot of pressure.
Yeah. Two.
I've realized, kind of a diploma slut. And by that, what I mean is when we went to the vet the other day, there was a diploma on the wall. And I checked it out, and it said Cornell, and I was like, "Oh, we're in good hands." But then I realized that whoever had that diploma was not who we were seeing. She was great too,
Sure.
but I didn't get to.
But you don't know
I
where
didn't
she
get
went. You
eyes
don't know
on
where
the
she
on the
went.
diploma.
The credentials.
But I do, and I have a diploma, and I don't know where it is. But whenever I see one on a wall, I do check it out. Do you guys?
I think I don't. I'm the perfect foil. Like, put any diploma,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, that seems legit from a distance.
Jenna, you know this says federal body inspector,
Sounds
right?
good. Open me up. Tinker around.
But yeah, I think
trust
I
you.
clock it as a diploma. I'm like, it's a framed paper with
Yeah.
calligraphy on it.
Yeah.
That's probably fine.
Yeah.
I wonder if people are faking their diplomas ever because
I promise you they are. Not always,
right.
but
Probably not
World's
doctors,
best
though.
grandpa?
I doubt doctors are doing that. Maybe.
I doubt they are too, but if they
Trying to think
were,
what
who's going to
profession.
bust them?
If like maybe you need a mechanic certificate, maybe a shady mechanic
right.
would
Or like
have
when
a
you
certificate.
go get your hair cut and their cosmetology license is framed,
Yeah.
which I think is like
They
for
legally
legal.
have to.
They have, but who's checking it? Maybe there's some department coming by, like how restaurants have a grade in the window.
But also, why?
Why do they?
You want to know for hygiene.
That there's a certain level
levels.
of competence?
Yeah.
So
I guess so.
I think you're right. Have you guys? Speaking of documentaries, have you seen? Is it called Brats? The Andrew McCarthy one?
Oh,
Heard
no, I
about
haven't seen
it, I
it yet.
haven't seen it.
I definitely want to watch it.
I haven't. I feel like it came up on a couple of pop culture podcasts I listened to, and I feel like I've heard people discuss it, but I've not actually seen the thing.
Well, then I guess we won't be discussing it here because Daniel and I are the only ones who've seen it. But I would, when you see it, circle back because I would like to know what you think of it.
Where does it live?
Hulu.
Hulu.
That's why I haven't seen it. I don't have Hulu.
Oh my god.
I mean, I have to. I'm trying to do the thing where you like
Cord cut?
don't have all of them at the
Oh,
same
yeah.
time. and
Yeah,
then you
that's
save
the
up
smart
and you're
way
like,
to do it. I'm
Okay,
gonna
now it's
watch all
time
the
for me
things I
to.
want on Paramount. And
Yeah.
that's
That
the
being
way to
said,
do
I
it.
still have like 6
Too many.
subscriptions.
Yeah, sure.
That are
Let's take a quick break and then we're gonna. We're gonna come back.
Then
Then we're gonna come back as one does often after a break. Allison Rosen is your new best friend is supported by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Tropical Smoothie Cafe believes you deserve a little vacay every day, not just once a year. Get on Tropic Time with bright and refreshing smoothies, tropic bowls, wraps, and flatbreads from Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Yes, it's not just smoothies, guys. It's delicious food. It's delicious smoothies. It's everything you want. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Summer mocktail smoothies are back. Only here for a limited time, though. Enjoy the fan favorite Island Punch, Mango Berry Cosmo, or Watermelon Mojito smoothies. I love the Island Punch smoothie because it has guava in it. It's peach, guava, passion fruit, mango, and pineapple, but they're all delicious. Join Tropical Smoothie Cafe for a pineapple, mango, and watermelon soiree all summer long. Grab a refreshing Island Punch, Mango Berry Cosmo, and Watermelon Mojito mocktail smoothie and meet us poolside. Visit one of Tropical Smoothie Cafe's 1,400 plus locations or order online or through their app.
Hey, it's Todd Perry from Allison's other podcast, Allison and Todd After Hours, and people are always telling me, Todd, I dig the show because it really helps with my love life. If you go to a sex store, they have multiple vibrators of different varying speeds, sizes,
Right. Shapes, materials.
veininess.
Right. Different vascularity for your vibrator.
Allison and Todd After Hours, new episodes twice a month at patreon.com/Allison and Todd.
And we're back. Okay, let's do Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
All right. Janet, do you have one?
The thing that popped into my mind was something that I did very recently, and I don't know how many people have like the occasion to do this, but it would make me feel better if someone in or outside of this room was like, oh yeah, I've totally been that self-righteous.
Oh, I like this already.
I recently had a medical procedure, just a preventative, let's make sure your body is, not crumbling with cancer or from cancer. But it wasn't an elective situation.
It was or was
It
not?
was not.
Okay.
And I had it and got through it. And then I received a bill like 30 days after the procedure. And the bill said that my payment of $200, because that's, I guess, what my insurance didn't cover of the thing I didn't want to have done anyway, was 90 days past due. And then I got a bill like 2 days later that had been issued. The invoice was dated a mere 3 days after the first bill I ever received. That was like, this is your final notice.
Right.
What?
We're going to send you to collections. And I lost my mind. And I've like never done this before, but I like found the billing department's email address because they were like, questions? Don't call us. Email us.
Oh God, I know.
And
hate that.
I did not have the time in my day to do this at all. I absolutely like shirked other responsibilities and wrote like a scathing email that was like, first of all, and I just like, I was like, this is when my thing was. How can I be 90 days late? And I was like, and furthermore, I'm probably one of your younger patients.
It's wild when you have to add a and furthermore. That's when you know it's
honestly,
serious.
I do think I did.
Sounds like they
and
deserved
furthermore,
it.
I was like, I imagine I'm one of your younger patients. You could seriously give a heart attack to a senior person who receives something. It's like, what? But I didn't pay. And I just lost my mind. And it was a very, very, and I copied like the doctor's office manager and said, my whole experience was so positive up to this point, but this is like so uncool. And the insurance and medical community is already so fucked up, blah, blah, blah. And I sent it. And then it felt so good to get that out. And then I just promptly forgot all about it.
And what happened?
I got a beautiful email back from the billing department that was like, it really was like, we are whatever you would want to hear. Like, yes, we are garbage. Like it was that level of apology.
Flogging myself.
And then I
so
felt
good
kind
for
of
you.
sheepish, to be honest with you, because then I was like, oh, I kind of forgot I did this because I just needed to like get it out.
Well, so that's my question for you, because we're doing Just Mirror Everyone, Daniel.
Okay.
This is certainly not just you. This is me every time I open up a letter from Cigna and I go, motherfucker. And then I like send, because every claim requires like 6 phone calls.
For
it's
sure.
It is such a nightmare to untangle all of it, and it takes so much time. And I always think there's people people don't have this kind of time.
Yeah. I feel like they're relying on you not having that time
They are.
to just blindly be like, oh, let me quickly give you your money because I don't have time for this.
So I'm always like in a fit of pique when I'm communicating and I'm like angry. And I always think I could wait a day. It's not going to kill anyone,
Right.
but I don't. It would kill me. But when you were writing it, were you like head full of steam?
Oh God. Yeah. And I usually do
Wait a day?
not have time, or I just complain outwardly. But for some reason, this one, I was like, I know I have to say everything I'm feeling right now. And usually I'm the person that I think it was because it was medical insurance related, because to your point, it's already a nightmare. Yeah. So why make it worse? Please don't make it worse. It already sucks for everyone. But I'm definitely the person who gets super, super frustrated by like a customer service like bot. And then by the time a human being comes, we're dancing that fine line. Yeah. Dancing the fine line where you're like, I absolutely know this is not your fault. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Do you have children? You are a human being. Of course you are. I know it's not your fault, but like you're still, it's just such what a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it's not just me.
Not just you. Jordan?
I lost a wallet recently, and
yours?
It was mine. Yes, I lost somebody else's wallet. I'm a pickpocket, and I, had to replace everything, and I, up until this wallet lost, did not do any kind of online banking. I was still doing everything.
Would you mail in checks?
I mail checks for my bills. I've discussed this on the show before. I like going to the post office, and it's just like I've never assumed there was an easier way to do any of this. I'm like, I'm doing it. It's fine. I'm not going to change. Surely this isn't where everything is going. And so I for the first time had to get the banking app on my phone in 2024 and put my bills on auto pay. I know that's, a weird thing that I still hadn't done. I would love to know if there is anybody else who just insists on doing the analog ass version of something, even though the new thing isn't that hard. But I'm kind of set up with all that stuff now. I've kind of grudgingly been pulled into the present.
Are you preferring it?
Yeah, no, there's so many advantages to it. There's tons of advantages to it. And I'm happy that I maybe got the chance to, get forced into doing it. And then at the end of the story, I got everything reset up. I got all my digital cards and my digital wallet. And then like 3 days later, the wallet turns up in my mailbox with all the money in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so
Any note or anything?
No, nothing.
Someone just mailed it to you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh my goodness.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Wait, was it
Good
loose in your
Samaritan.
mailbox?
It
Or
was. So
like in a-
I have like my mailbox with a key, and then there's like a little mailbox by my door, and it was in the little mailbox by my. So I think somebody probably just found the
Found it.
address,
Saw the
and put it in
ID.
there.
Along
was
with
like-
a photo of you sleeping.
Yeah, right, exactly.
with the eyes crossed out, you.
Sure, and and a message written in code. I had to create a cipher to decode the message.
Ooh,
and,
got it done.
it was a Bible verse.
That's amazing.
and I'm gonna get killed.
Can I guess which one?
You have 3
wow,
guesses.
that's so nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
But does anyone have anything like that where they're just like, I still just do this old ass version of the thing?
I feel like I do, and I'm spacing on what it is.
Like,
Well, I don't. This is not quite the same, but I only very recently started paying for things with the credit card chip instead of inserting or swiping.
oh, sure, yeah.
Because I just feel like it's just not going to work. I have
Oh,
that.
how do you feel about tapping?
That's what I'm talking about.
I always
Oh,
tap
sorry, I
it.
thought you
Yeah.
were talking about.
Hey, you
insert-
tapping, bro? Sweet.
I
I've
don't
just
do that
started-
because
And
every
this
time
is
I do
mine.
it,
This
excuse
is
me.
my thing. This is me.
They heard what you had to say.
Yeah. So anyway, I've just started tapping, and it's been going. Okay, your turn.
See, okay, I always do the wrong side, and it never works.
Yep.
And I feel like there's a little symbol on your card, and someone told me, yeah, you're supposed to tap that side of it, but I think it's the other side. But then maybe it is that side, and I think it's the other side. It's like I don't know which it is.
I promise you, I also do, not necessarily with that specific thing,
Yeah.
but the thing where you're like, oh no, I always think it's
Yes.
this, and I'm not going to do
Pull up
that
the
this
stanza.
time. I'm
And
going
then
to
that's
fool
what
my
leads
and
you
it's
to
still the
getting-
same.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. I did that with we have these light switches in our kitchen. We have 2 sets of lights, overhead and then like these pendant lights.
Yeah.
And for the first year we lived in this house, I couldn't remember if the
Yeah.
top switch was for the top
Yeah.
or the pendants, and I would just do every
Yeah.
time I would get
You're
it
like,
wrong.
not this time,
Right.
not
And
going to
then I
get
it
me.
wrong.
And then,
I
yeah.
get it wrong.
There's 3 light switches for the studio, and every single one I hit them all a bunch of times to get the lights to turn off.
I have no idea.
Some
Didn't even
people,
occur to
some
me
people
to
label.
memorize
Some
it.
people do little cute, small have little printer
That's what
label
they
things.
want.
They're like, you
No,
know.
I know that's smart.
I mean, I don't. I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't want I don't want words all over the place,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
right?
For
I think that's fair.
nerds, right?
Words are for nerds.
Oh, reading, huh?
Fucking words.
Fucking words.
But Daniel will say to me, "You don't have your cards in your Apple phone. Apple phone. Do we call them that? In your phone? Apple Pay.
There's your problem.
That's what
Apple
I'm trying to
Pay,
talk
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I don't use that. Do
I
you
do.
guys?
I
don't
definitely
actually.
do.
I do
yeah.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
I had one in there. I was a little bit earlier to that than I was to most things, but now I have like all my cards in the Apple Wallet. Before I just had kind of one.
And so, what does that let you do besides do something at Starbucks?
It's kind of fun. It's just fun.
Because
Yeah.
I hate when I'm trying to buy
There's an
something.
additional beep.
I like a beep. I do like a beep.
The beep's
Because
fun.
I don't like when I'm trying to buy something online.
Do
and
you
then-
enter your credit card information every time you
No,
buy something online?
But I never know when it's going to know it and when it isn't.
like if you're on your phone and you buy something, are you just paying with Apple Pay and then doing the double click or whatever?
Nope.
You're entering your credit card number.
It has my credit card in there sometimes. Not in the Apple, not in the digital wallet, but like
The
I don't
website
know.
may be saved. You
Yes.
had it saved. your
Someone has it
information.
sometime, but
just makes
oftentimes
it
then it
easier to
still
buy things.
needs. I know. Well, then it needs the code, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta get up and go get it. And that's when he always says to me, "Just put it in your
But
phone."
you know what? Some say it makes it too easy.
Oh,
Gets real
interesting.
easy to spend that Apple money.
Yeah.
That's right.
Gets
It really does.
real easy. Just a quick little. Oh,
Yeah.
you just need my fingerprint, or you just need my little double click. Like
Disney, I think at Disney World, they have these wristbands that have an RFID, whatever, and
Yeah.
so it knows where you are, and
Yeah.
you can attach a credit card to it, so that,
Oh,
and it's
danger.
like at Disney where everything's you just let the money just.
That's what I'm saying. They
Keep
know.
the churros coming.
Keep those churros.
Charge it to my
coming.
wrist. Never let this get empty. You're pointing to a napkin.
How many churros do you think you could eat
Oh,
in one? I feel like I could do
less than
one
you
and a
think.
half.
They're pretty filling.
I could eat 2 full-size churros.
2 plus. Okay,
Nice
I can,
work.
Can I do 1.5? I'm trying to imagine how I'm going
You
to feel after
could.
that first churro.
It's well, especially they're long. You know.
Yeah.
Are we
so it's
allowed
like-
to have water?
Yeah, this isn't
Like this is a Joey
torture.
Chestnut.
Yeah, no, you
dip
can
him
dip
in
it in water.
Solid hole like a duck.
Yeah, I could probably put away a few.
Yeah,
Those are good.
I think I'm gonna go 1.5.
There's like different flavors now, or at least at Universal Studios, which is the most recent place I had a churro. They have like Oreo dust. They have
Well,
strawberry
they're
dust.
getting fancy with
Oreo
it.
dust.
Mhm. The Oreo dust is real
I
good.
bet it's great.
It's
Really?
good. Yeah.
An improvement on the regular churro.
I think it's
different.
a nice change. I mean,
Yeah.
I think classic churro pretty fucking unbeatable.
Yeah.
But as far as like high fun factors, something new, Oreo is real good.
Strawberry dust. That doesn't sound as good to me. So
I liked the strawberry
You
a
do?
lot. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I've tried all of them so far, and I like them a lot.
What are the other ones?
Check out his blog.
Check out my blog,
Yeah.
churrodude.blogspot.yum.
I'm so glad we can do
I'm
dot
trying
yum
all
now.
the churros. Hey, Churro Nation.
Oh no,
Boo.
Churro Nation.
I have my kids here who are now roped into my fucking bullshit.
Oh no. But seriously, what are the other flavors?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm trying to remember. It might just be original chocolate and strawberry.
Okay.
It feels like there's more, but
All right.
those are the ones
But
I
the
remember.
chocolate is the Oreo.
I love.
That's what
yeah,
we're saying.
let's try Oreo.
Okay, got it.
Excuse me.
Got it.
Janet, you grew up in Tucson.
I did.
That's what I hear. Do you remember growing up there being a thing about bacon wrapped hot dogs?
No.
Were you the one asking me about this?
yeah, because I dated this guy who had grown up in Tucson. This was in New York, and he really missed the bacon wrapped hot dogs.
And I'm like,
I don't have
what?
any memory of that. I
He
feel like
lived
I found
there-
out about bacon wrapped hot dogs here. Or
Right,
like
this is an LA
visiting
thing.
It
New
does
York
seem
or
like such
something.
a LA delicacy.
this is an LA
Yeah.
thing. This person was lying to you about
Maybe
growing
he
up in
was.
Tucson.
I think that's true.
He lived in Tucson much later than either of you guys did.
I mean, it might be like there's a place
I
downtown
love that
or
deep
something
dish
that does
Tucson
that, but-
pizza.
be
and the
anywhere.
Tucson bagels. Like, all right, man. I think you're just.
It's the water. You know?
It's the water in
It's the
Tucson.
water they make them in.
No, yeah.
I have been to Tucson twice, and the first time I didn't. We
It's a disaster.
wasn't that fun.
What time of year was it? That's the key question.
So I
first of
tried to
all.
take her back there
Let's
for
not talk
Thanksgiving.
about that first
Okay,
trip
all right.
because
Well, so like we had been married by this point, right? I mean, like that's how
it
long.
was fresh.
That's how long I
But our
waited to
marriage
take
was
her
fresh.
to Tucson. And so we went back for Thanksgiving, and it was like she just couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there. She was just like, and I'm like, I haven't even shown you Tucson yet.
Yeah.
We did a little drive-through on our way out of town.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. And
I was sleeping on an air mattress.
well,
this princess can't sleep on an air. I was very uncomfortable.
That will affect. That
There
will
was a
affect.
pea
strongly
underneath.
affect.
There
Then-
was. Yes,
she's
it
just
was.
like, but
Tucson known for its peas under mattresses, of course.
but she was all grouchy going into it too. Like, desert,
Yeah.
she's not a desert gal.
She's not a desert
If-
gal.
I mean, just for full transparency, I'm crazy. Am crazy. I was in a fight with my parents, and I always spent Thanksgiving with them. And so I think I wasn't talking to them. That sounds about right, which was very hard for me.
Sure.
So I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna be part of this thing to figure out what we're doing for Thanksgiving. I'm going to my husband's for Thanksgiving. And then like,
wait a minute. The reality of that struck you on the drive over.
well, on the drive, I just realized, those same shitty feelings that I had in California are now with me here.
Yeah.
And I'm having a rough time.
You're in someone else's dysfunction now. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was the second time?
The
Was it any
second
better?
time we went for July 4th.
Oh, hot.
And
Very
until-
hot.
but during monsoon season.
I do
Yeah.
like monsoon season.
But I
Yes.
didn't really before. I didn't have a chance to see how beautiful Tucson is, and I really felt when we went the second time until we got COVID, I really felt that put a crimp in our style.
It-
But
we stayed at Ventana. Like I was like, all right, we're not going to stay at my mom's house. We're
That's what
stay-
I do for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving ritual of the past few years has been to go to the Thanksgiving buffet that Ventana Canyon does.
Oh.
What's
On
Ventana
on
Canyon?
Thanksgiving. It's
like
like
a nice resort.
Yeah, it's like just right up in the foothills
It's
of
a
the
Lowe's.
Saguaros
It's really
and very pretty.
yeah.
But that's what. So
That's a good
because it's
idea.
basically just my
peas
That's
and
what
the
we should do
mattress
this
there
year.
are
It is
tiny.
well. Listen, if you want to time
Tiny
it,
little peas.
it's
It's good.
very. I'm sure my dad would love to see you.
Yeah.
It's very fun, and the food is so good. I mean, it is. Now, listen,
The food is really
you have
good.
to put away the idea of like how much of this is going to waste, which I always carry around with me. But I feel like a lot of it gets eaten, and yes, at some point my dad was like, "Do you guys," to the waitress, "do you guys get to take food home?" Because he also worries about it. And then she was like, "Oh yeah, there's nothing left. Like everyone eats everything." But it's, if you're not a person who is into the conventional, for one reason or the other, it could be like just a taste thing. It could be like a memory or association thing with like turkey and stuffing or whatever. They have all of that, but maybe you just want like some barbecue and like a crab claw and one shrimp and like a little,
and an omelet.
piece of
Maybe we should
cheese
go
and an
back to
omelet.
Thanksgiving.
Sounds pretty enticing.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Sounds
It's
exciting.
a little. You can have your nut and cheese course, and then you can go back. It's
I
great.
do like that
and they have
idea.
great desserts.
Tried
it's really
to
fun.
rope my family into
Do it when the
non-traditional
sun's going down. That's
Thanksgiving.
great.
It's beautiful.
I love it. I look
worked
forward
at
to it.
Ventana. I worked at the country club part. So
Oh,
they have
sure.
the two different ones.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
It's beautiful
Is
up
that where
there.
you were helming the omelet bar?
I eventually ended up
promoted
being
to
the
omelet.
chef at the
Wow.
omelet.
Hello.
What's the
Listen,
secret?
I don't
What's
like
the
to brag
secret
about
to
this.
a great
Yeah.
omelet bar omelet?
What's the secret? Well, you can't do it on too high heat. I could do the thing where you flip the chilies into the flame and you catch the flame.
Hey.
Yes.
You know.
And just listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do
just
have to
listen
listen.
to
The
your
eggs will
customer.
speak to you.
Listen.
I thought you meant listen to the eggs.
It's both. You really got to listen. It's like improv. Like, what are you saying to me? And what is my and then what is
do
the
you
food
want?
saying?
Do you want to be flipped?
Put love into it. You know.
Present,
Sprinkle
present.
of love.
I used to sneak into
The
Ventana to go
ultimate
swimming.
condiment.
Oh, really?
I used to work at the pool.
I wonder.
I also did the
It's weird
snack
because when
bar
you
at the
said
pool.
that you worked at the country club, for some reason I was like, yeah. But it's not like we hung out. But for some reason I was like, that
you were
sounds
2
right.
years behind.
Yeah, I
me.
was very young.
So you were.
But I was a smart ass.
But 3 years
you were a
chronologically,
little
right?
firecracker.
yeah,
I just remember Janet. She was always like hanging around, buzzing around, and
I was always
Firecracker
Fly.
Varney.
He was with me, Fly.
Yeah.
I was
and
buzzing around.
definitely one of the funnier, smarter people that we knew there. It was like
Also, I don't know why we would even like. How did we engage that you guys were 2 years old, but somehow like we would
were
have
you in
conversations.
yearbook or something?
No,
I don't know. You were just around.
Yeah.
Janet was just there.
I was just there with my black lipstick. It was a phase.
Were you? Wait, were you like were
my
at that
freshman year?
point?
I definitely went.
I
Like,
don't remember
emo
you
goth.
being goth at all.
Yeah, I definitely was that my freshman year and then into my sophomore year.
What did we
Wait,
call them?
hold on. And
we
you
didn't
have
call
never
goth.
seen The Craft?
I think we called them punks.
punks. Yeah,
they
I
were
think that's what
punks.
it was. Because I would hang out with a lot of people that I thought were punks, and I look back, I go, they'd be thought of as goth now. I think.
and a lot of them went to UHS. Like when I was a
Yeah.
freshman, my first boyfriend was this guy named Stefan, who was a senior.
Stefan Ferris.
Yeah. Stefan,
No
yeah.
way, you dated Stefan.
And then I became very, very close
Stefan.
friends
Wait,
with Sophie.
I've heard about Stefan, right? Isn't he-
Stefan,
okay.
Stonehand Stefan is what we called him because
That's a great
Yeah.
name of the cool kid from high school, Stefan Ferris.
He was, well,
I don't
he
know
was
if this is
cool.
gonna turn out to be cool.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so Stefan,
Uh-oh.
Stefan, he was a really good friend of mine in elementary school, and he was called Stonehands because he would drop the football. He probably dropped the football one time.
Oh yeah, that makes
total
sense.
and then forever he was
that makes
Stonehands
total
Stefan.
sense. Total sense.
Like he was one of those people where I want to say 7th grade, but maybe could have been any time between 7th and 9th. He just suddenly changed his whole style. He went from being like a clean cut
Yeah,
kid to now he's full on punk.
yeah,
And that, to my mind, struck me as so fake.
yeah.
Because you're
totally.
like, I know that's not you. But then by the time they're a senior, that's who they are. It's
yeah.
this weird sort of thing where it's like, you're that enough for long enough.
yeah.
But
I mean, I can't. I can only speak to that in that when I got to, like, before I went into Rincon, I definitely was like, I mean, I wear like some kind of hippie clothes because I went to Outerback and
Yeah.
But when I started listening to like Depeche Mode and The Cure, I was like, that's the real me. So I have to defend
I
Stefan
never
because
had-
there's that moment where you're like, oh my God, this feels so much better
Well,
than the way I looked before.
I envied.
And so I think that can be sincere, but I also think it can be fake. It
I
depends.
think I envied people like Stefan because I felt like I didn't have the courage to dress out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Like although I was weird in my own way, I wouldn't be like, I couldn't just go punk.
Right.
Even though those were all my friends.
Yeah.
And so I
love that you're friends with Stefan. I mean,
oh my God, yeah.
I didn't
His
know he knew
parents,
because of
who were
VHS, yeah.
French,
Mm-hmm.
I remember they had an arm in their bookshelf. Do you remember?
Yes.
They had like a
like an
mummy's-
actual, yeah,
like an actual human
Oh my
arm.
god.
yeah.
And
Wait,
his-
is this a good thing?
I want to
mean,
say
I
they were academics or something.
They were definitely academics.
Yeah, so it was
Like
something to do.
100%.
In medicine?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, I was too young
Or
to know
artifacts?
the difference between like they like
Yeah.
worked at the university or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Someone
yeah.
I knew had a real arm in their house. It's all I would be talking about. It's just like an afterthought. Like,
They
yeah,
also
I
had
see it enough
comics,
times.
but they had
They would have
French
called him
comics.
They had French
Stefan
comics.
Arm Ferris.
No, I
Stone arm.
I look back and I regret losing friends like him because like when I went from 6th grade to 7th grade, I went from the GATE program to like normal ass school.
Right.
And so my friends from the GATE program, they all thought that, I don't know, there was just like this weirdness and tension. And so I kind of like lost all those friends. And so I always, I regretted losing friends like Stefan.
Well, that was what was interesting about UHS was that it was two high schools that shared a campus.
Right.
So you could take like any language class you took was a UHS class. So you would have class and then they shared the
What's
arts.
University High School?
University
High School. So it was more of like a prep. I mean, it was a public school, but you had to test into it. And so there was a sense of like the smarter kids
Yes.
being in school with like the dumber kids, but then there were a bunch of like GATE kids at Rincon.
Yeah.
Like I could have gone to UHS, but I once again wanted to have Mr. Mackey, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't need the UHS English
Well, and you
department.
could
I'm
take
sure
the
this is
classes.
fascinating to you guys and
who
everyone
cares about that
listening.
one?
No, this. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Like, when do you like go on a podcast with someone you went to high
This
school?
conversation has
This
been
is
a long
great.
time coming. It's
I
been a
know.
I have a
long time
question.
coming.
Did you know the UHS kids? Because
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Did you know Adam Bowen?
Yeah, I absolutely knew Adam Bowen.
I went
yeah.
to college. Okay, so Adam Bowen, one of the creators of Jewel.
Not the singer.
One of Jules' parents.
Yeah.
I called them the creators
I
of Jewel.
Yeah.
I went to college with Adam.
Oh, Jewel, the
vaping
nicotine
device, yeah.
vapor.
I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't know until you just said this.
Oh,
that
really?
he created Jewel. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, what was it
He's
called?
like,
at the
was he like a
beginning?
billionaire now?
He I assume he's
How
a billionaire.
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
he sold it.
Crazy.
But and there's
Wow.
like there was a documentary and podcast that came out that I think that they talk a lot about him.
Right.
Yeah. So he went to Pomona College and then he went to Stanford Business School or something. And then I remember he was in New York and I hadn't seen him in years and we got together and we were inside this restaurant and he showed me this thing that was like a ballpoint pen and he was smoking it.
Yeah.
And I remember kind of looking around like, is this okay? Because
Yeah.
plumes were coming
Yeah.
out. And that was, oh no, it was called Plume actually. Ploom.
Oh, there you go.
Then it switched to Pax. And then I wasn't keeping track of the fact that it had become Jewel until sort of all the news about that came out. And then I'm like, holy shit, that's my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Adam Bowen. I mean, I wasn't like friends with
Right.
him,
But I just realized he would have, oh wait, no, he was a year ahead of you.
that sounds right. I mean,
Yeah.
again,
I think
like
he was a year
you
younger
know,
than I was.
I
so.
definitely knew a bunch of.
Well, you
yeah,
guys
I
were in
knew
the
a bunch
same
of-
class.
Oh wait, that's
No, you
right.
guys were
Sorry,
both same
he's a year
class.
behind us.
Got it.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, the UHS thing was always like, I had friends at UHS, we all did, but it was also sort of annoying because it's like, you motherfuckers, I was in.
You're not smarter than
Like, I could be in
We are,
this.
yeah.
So shut the fuck up.
100%.
And I would take classes. You
Yeah.
could take those classes, but
Yeah.
there was a bit of a snootiness that I would
yeah,
look,
a little bit of a snootiness.
you know, but.
And then I went to their this is how you find out. I went to their senior prom and our senior prom.
How
Our
did they
senior
compare?
prom sucked.
Theirs did?
And theirs was amazing.
Yeah.
Theirs was
Like
amazing.
how?
Theirs was where the wild things are themed.
That's fun.
And you
That's
go
outside
in,
the
there
box.
was like a big ice sculpture and like it was in a beautiful place. And then ours,
Yes.
our theme was dust in the wind.
What is that?
Listen, that is so correct for our school.
I mean, yeah. And it was like in just the shitty, like low ceilinged,
I mean,
like
our
ballroom
theme was
at a crap
gym, the
hotel.
gym.
honestly,
It might
like,
as well have been.
Yeah.
I don't know what your memory of the Rincon aspect of our school was. That's the non UHS part. But there was definitely this like beleaguered aspect to our school in my mind. Like just this kind of like
Yeah.
What does
Yeah.
Dust in the Wind look like?
I mean, I think it was. I mean, I think I'm trying to think of what like the prom, what
So
comes with it. I
melancholy.
wasn't involved in
Dust
like.
in the
It's
wind.
shocking that I went to either prom because I never went to a football game. I never went. Like people are like, "How big was your school?" I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea what our graduating class was. I don't know. We were at two different schools, so I didn't know how many total that meant.
I would guess
I wasn't
like
on
1,200
yearbook.
people maybe.
Was it?
Maybe.
I'll use that. I'll use that figure next time
don't
because I
know.
really Don't
Well,
know.
I
I just
have
had
no
no
idea.
involvement. I was in no extracurricular clubs except for theater. All I did was plays and dance, and like I just had no involvement with anything athletic.
I did
or any, or
literally
otherwise.
everything I possibly could after sophomore year because I think or maybe it was after freshman year when I got the yearbook and I saw in the index how many, they put the numbers of the page numbers.
Oh, you guys were all over
So
that
I was
year's
just like-
yearbook. I have that yearbook.
Do you? Yeah, so
I
me and
think
Matt.
I think I made notes with my friend Aaron.
Yeah.
We were like, let's see if we can find Dan and Matt again.
Right, because what we would do is we would join every club.
Listen to this cool guy move.
Oh, did I say I was cool?
This
Sorry.
is kind of a Rushmore you're doing,
Find
right?
the tape where I said I was cool. I did not say I was cool.
Tony, manipulate the audio to have him saying he's cool.
But it served me.
I am cool.
Well, let me tell you, it served me because what we did as a goof, we joined every club until the yearbook photo was
Yeah.
taken, and then never showed up to another meeting.
That is Wes
What a
Anderson.
racket.
That is absolutely.
So we
something
were
that would
in
happen.
every club
Yeah.
photo that we could
Yeah.
get into. I mean, I was in the
Yes.
French club. I
This
was in the fucking
tracks.
academic decathlon. I was all this stuff. But when it came time to apply to schools, I could put for college. I could put all the shit that I did, and they could not prove me wrong.
No, absolutely.
So that helped.
Here was my thinking. I'm poor and I'm going to major in theater. It doesn't fucking matter what I do because I'm not going to get no scholarship is ever going to be enough to you know what I mean? I just never. I mean, I graduated second in my class.
Yeah.
But like,
Wait,
I did. I mean,
you were salutatorian?
I was salutatorian.
Daniel
I was
was
second.
salutatorian.
I came as a complete.
I was
Oh my God.
I didn't know
Look
it was.
at us.
This is how bad of a student I was. I didn't know what was happening. Someone was like, "And you graduated second. You'll be marching up as salutatorian."
wanna
I was
hear-
like, "I don't know what that means."
Okay, do you want to hear the tragedy of my graduation? So, the two, number one and number two for the entire 4 years was always me and this girl, Veronica, I think her name was. Fucking piece of shit. No, no, she was sweet. But
I was trying to steal Archie.
No, well, so as soon as I got into the school I wanted to get into, I was like, fuck this. I did not care. And I think I was 1 and I dropped to 2. She must have done the same thing because she dropped to 3.
Oh.
And this kid, Chris,
Surprise.
became valedictorian, who he probably was the more deserved person. He was the smartest person in our class. His parents were awful. And they were like, this kid who was brilliant, they just enlisted him into the army like infantry, like not even.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, he could have gone to fucking West Point or something.
Yeah.
Like, nope, he just was
You
going
might
to the
have
army.
to tell me offline what his last name is.
Yeah, well.
I don't remember.
So anyway, he didn't know he was valedictorian. We're sitting in the auditorium, and the school made you
The
buy.
school had a communication problem, is
The
what I'm
school
hearing.
made you
Yeah.
buy your cap and gown. Now
That
the
sounds
cap
right.
and gown was like $20 or something
Yeah.
like that. But his parents would not buy him a cap and gown. So he wasn't coming to the ceremony.
Oh no.
So we were all sitting in the auditorium before the ceremony, and they had called him and told him, listen, you're valedictorian, you should be here. So we see him show up, and we're happy for him because he was a friend. He goes down to talk to the principal or vice principal, and what happened was they said, look, you're going to sit up in the stands with the parents. We'll call your name, you stand up. They were not even allowing him to borrow a fucking cap and gown.
What?
And he just burst into tears.
This breaks
and
my
left.
heart. This
Yeah.
is my girl.
Still,
And he
I was
got
gonna
killed
say,
by
still
bees.
a movie I would watch.
Yeah.
Still a movie I would watch.
Like-
I would watch the movie about you, and in that movie is also him and his horrible parents.
It was so, we were just like, it was devastating. And you're like, the fucking administrators can all put in $2
That's
each to buy him a
awful.
cap and gown. The valedictorian.
That's awful.
That to me was like,
So who made the speech?
who would even fucking
like-
knows? I was busy throwing tortillas.
But see, I feel like if the English department had known, I feel like they would have been like, "Of course, we're going to get him a cap and
Nobody
gown." Like,
knew.
No one knew.
And of course he would have. Yeah, like if the word had just gotten out, but I don't think Chris wanted people to know.
Yeah, of course.
Because he was embarrassed.
Oh no!
The whole thing was just so
Please
sad.
tell me he's still alive. You don't know.
I don't know. You know, he went to the army and it
I
was just
know. That's what I'm saying.
like, who the fuck knows?
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
what
what's
a
going on with you guys?
simple guy.
Nothing.
I'm just saying, like there was
you know.
like this tragic element to my memories of high school.
Ooh, boy. We got to say hello and welcome to our new patrons.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new
patreon.com/AllisonRosen.
Hello and welcome to Erica Criction and to Karen Dickerson. Hello, welcome. Thank you for all the support. I am directly supported by you guys right now because ads are thin. So thank you so much for stepping up and being awesome. You guys are great. Patreon.com/Allison and also AllisonRosen.substack.com.
Substack.
Okay. I think we got to say goodbye to this episode because we're recording another one. That's right. Janet, where can we find you?
Oh, I guess you can find me at the JV Club on Instagram.
Perfect. That's where we'll find you. And we should be listening to the JV Club.
Please
most
do.
likely, yeah.
I welcome you too.
And Jordan?
Hi, yeah, I have a graphic novel that I
Yay.
have been plugging on this show for a while that is now out. Thank you. Yes, I know. It is called Youth Group. It is art by the great Bowen McGurty. It is a YA horror comedy about teenage exorcists, Buffy vibes, Shaun of the Dead vibes. I'm really proud of this thing. I'm
It
so
looks
happy with
amazing.
Thank
It
you.
looks-
Yes,
it's really good looking.
And yeah, I'm super happy with how it turned out, and I'd love if folks could check it out. If you are a graphic novel fan, I think you'll have something to like. If you don't read that many comics or graphic novels, you don't need to know anything going into it. It's very new reader friendly, beginning, middle, and an end. I hope folks check it out. A YA book, but I think if you like all that stuff I mentioned, if you like a spookier episode of Riverdale, you'll enjoy this. bit.ly/youth group book. bit.ly/youth group book. You can see the beautiful cover. You can see some of Bowen's gorgeous art, and you can get all the order links there. That's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, better yet, your local indie bookstore. Youth Group, it is out, and I hope you look into it.
Fabulous. Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, Tony?
The show.
And follow me everywhere. And if you like what you're hearing, or even if you don't, please leave us a review. It helps out the podcast. And go to Allison'sLinks.com for everything else. All my links to stuff are all there. Everyone, thank you. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Allison Rosen is your new best friend.